Modern shonen has a nasty habit of lying to you. It sells you the dream of friendship and victory, only to rip your throat out when you finally get comfortable. Attack on Titan did it when the Beast Titan turned a suicide charge into a math equation. Now, Jujutsu Kaisen has replicated that exact trauma. The Shibuya Incident isn't just an arc, it's a funeral for your childhood innocence. This is where the genre stops playing games and starts taking hostages. Let's stop pretending that dark shonen is just about gore and edgy character designs. It's not. True darkness comes from the destruction of structure. The reason Return to Shiganshina stands as the peak of fiction in the last decade isn't because of the colossal titan. It's because Isayama killed the father figure. He removed the one man, Erwin Smith, who made us believe that victory was possible. Shibuya is the exact same beast wearing a different skin. Gege Akutami looked at the safety net Isayama burned down and decided to pour gasoline on the ashes. The thesis here is simple but devastating. The Shibuya Incident is the new return to Shiganshina because it executes the fall of the Guardian. Both arcs function as the precise moment the story stops being a hero's journey and transforms into a survival horror. We aren't watching characters level up anymore. We are watching them get processed by a meat grinder. When Gojo Satoru was sealed, the world of Jujutsu Kaisen didn't just lose its strongest fighter, it lost its logic. Just like when the scouts lost Erwin, the concept of winning was replaced by the desperate need to simply not die. For the longest time, we felt safe. Why? Because Gojo Satoru existed. He was the narrative cheat code, the get-out-of-jail-free card that Gege could play whenever the villains got too rowdy. As long as Gojo was breathing and unsealed, absolute loss was impossible. This mirrors the role of Erwin Smith perfectly. Erwin was the strategist who could turn hell into hope. Even when the Beast Titan was raining rocks down on them, we looked at Erwin and thought, he has a plan. Shibuya and Shiganshina are masterpieces because they strip mine that security. When the prison realm closed on Gojo, I felt the exact same stomach drop sensation I felt when a rock tore through Erwin's abdomen. It's the realization that the adults are gone. The gods have left the server. Suddenly Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara aren't students under the protection of a teacher, they are child soldiers abandoned on the front lines. Isayama and Gege understood that to make the protagonist grow, you have to break their legs first. By removing the guardian archetype, both authors forced the audience to accept a terrifying reality. No one is coming to save us. The scaling didn't just go up, the floor fell out. The subsequent chaos in Shibuya, the curses running rampant, the slaughter of civilians, is a direct result of this power vacuum. It's the visual representation of a world without order, just like the chaotic suicide charge in Shiganshina was the visual representation of a military structure collapsing into desperation. I am sick of anime trying to make death look pretty. Most shonen gives characters a 10-minute monologue, a flashback to their childhood, and sparkling dust as they fade away. That is weak writing. It's comfort food. Return to Shiganshina and the Shibuya Incident reject that comfort entirely. Look at the death of Nanami Kento. There was no glory there. He was half-burnt, exhausted, hallucinating about a beach in Malaysia, and then, pop, Mahito blows him apart. It was disgusting, it was sudden, it was disrespectful, and it was brilliant. Now compare that to the massacre of the Survey Corps recruits. Marlowe didn't get a hero's send-off, he got a rock to the face while wondering what Hitch was doing. Moblet died shoving Hanjay down a well. These deaths are clinically brutal. They share a core philosophy. War does not care about your character arc. Shibuya mastered this ruthlessness. The deaths of Nobara, ambiguous or not, the trauma is real, and Nanami weren't plot devices to unlock a new power-up for Yuji immediately. They were simply casualties of a disaster. This is where JJK matches AOT's energy. It treats its cast not as main characters, but as organic matter that can be destroyed. The shock factor in the first half of Shibuya creates a suffocating atmosphere where you genuinely believe anyone could die in the next panel. That level of tension is rare, and it's the hallmark of a masterpiece. The most parallel imagery between these two arcs is the total psychological demolition of the main character. In Shiganshina, Eren Yeager stands on the wall, looking at the ocean, realizing that his entire life's goal, killing Titans, was a joke. The real enemy is the world. He breaks. He stops being the loud, angry kid and starts becoming the monster who would eventually rumble the earth. In Shibuya, Yuji Itadori undergoes the Cog mentality shift. After Sukuna uses his body to turn Shibuya into a crater, slicing through thousands of innocent people, Yuji breaks. The scream he lets out isn't a battle cry, it's the sound of a soul shattering. He realizes he isn't a hero, he is a vessel for mass destruction. This is the fatal take right here. Shibuya is the moment Yuji accepts he is a murderer, just as Shiganshina is the moment Eren accepts he has to become one. Both arcs force the protagonist to stare into the abyss of their own powerlessness. Yuji looking at the destruction caused by Malevolent Shrine is the visual echo of Eren looking at the sea. It's the realization that the scale of the conflict is far beyond their ability to control it with hard work or guts. They are traumatized veterans now. The shonen protagonist died in these arcs, replaced by something much colder and more tragic. Let's dig deeper into the philosophy of despair that connects these two monumental events. The genius of Gege Akutami is that he studied the pacing of Isayama's trauma. The structural brilliance of Return to Shiganshina was that the victory felt like a defeat. Yes, they retook the wall. Yes, they reached the basement, but the cost was so high that it tasted like ash. Armin lived, but at the cost of Erwin. They learned the truth, but the truth was that the whole world hates them. Shibuya mirrors this Pyrrhic victory structure. Technically, the sorcerers won because Kenjaku retreated and Gojo wasn't killed, only sealed. But look at the cost. Tokyo is gone. The Jujutsu hierarchy is decapitated. The public knows about curses. The secrecy is over. This leads to a philosophical shift in the storytelling. Before these arcs, the story is driven by hope. We can kill all Titans. We can collect all fingers. After these arcs, the story is driven by obligation. The characters fight not because they think they will win, but because they have nothing left to do but fight. It creates a nihilistic undertone that separates elite anime from the garbage. It's the transition from saving the world to surviving the apocalypse. I can hear the keyboards clacking already. But Titan, AOT is a political drama about cycles of hatred. JJK is just sorcery fighting. You can't compare them. Wrong. You're looking at the surface and missing the engine. While AOT focuses on the politics of war, JJK in Shibuya focuses on the anarchy of war. The mechanism is different, but the emotional result is identical. Isayama uses military structure to crush his characters. Gege uses the total absence of structure to crush his. The fear you feel in Shibuya comes from the anarchy, the fact that a volcano head curse can just burn a cafe full of people for fun. That chaos is the spiritual sibling to the calculated cruelty of Zeke Yeager. Different methods, same trauma. The Shibuya Incident is the definitive line in the sand. It is the moment Jujutsu Kaisen looked at the industry standard for dark arcs set by Attack on Titan and said, "Hold my beer." If you survived the return to Shiganshina with a piece of your soul intact, Shibuya came back to finish the job. We aren't watching cartoons anymore. We are witnessing the systematic dismantling of hope. And frankly, it is absolute cinema. So, here's the question you need to ask yourself before you click on the next episode. Do you want the comfortable lie of a hero winning, or are you ready for the beautiful, brutal truth of a hero breaking? Because once you enter Shibuya, you don't get to leave the same person. Hit that like button if you're still traumatized by Nanami's death. Subscribe if you want more uncompromising analysis.